Hey Cancer, welcome to my channel, welcome to my space. We are going to jump into your reading. We're going to be discussing 2025 spiritual and emotional growth. I am going to be reading for your Cancer, Moon, and Rising signs. So let's go ahead and jump in. I will also be posting or uploading a video for your material lives. So money, career, finances, your jobs. Okay. Or the lack thereof, because some of us we're between jobs. Some of us, may have gotten fired, let go, laid off. Some of us quit our jobs because we were tired, or some of us just got a new job. Some of us got promoted. Some of us opened our own business, or we're trying to open our own business, right? So there will be another video that I will be posting regarding money and career and finance advice, along with these videos. Which this video, Cancer, Sun, and Rising signs, is all about spiritual and emotional growth for 2025. Okay. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Cancer, Moon, and Rising signs. Let's go ahead and see here. If you guys ever just need a pick me up, or you need a pep talk, or you need a refresher, just come back to these videos. Come back to these videos for 2025. If 2025 hits and there's a situation where you just want to cry, or you want to hide under a rock and die for the rest of 2025 until 2026, come back to these videos. Come back to these videos. Okay. Come back to these videos. I may not post often, but I post when my ancestors tell me that I need to. I give messages when my ancestors says I need to. All right. So Cancer, Sun, our Moon and Rising signs. Cancer, Moon, and Rising signs. Ancestors, guardians, and protectors for the year 2025. Spiritual and emotional growth messages. All right. Let's see, y'all. Okay. I feel like this is just I feel this has kind of been a theme for a lot of people that since I started with Capricorn, and this energy is so strong for 2025 for everybody. So Cancer, Moon, and Rising signs, just bear with me, because there's going to be probably a number of scenarios that come out of this. Okay. So if there's a scenario that I'm talking about and you just kind of feel like, oh, I don't really relate to that, just hold on, and just maybe I will actually come up with the scenario that you're dealing with. But if not, that's totally fine. Take what resonates, leave what does not. So there is something that I'm feeling here, Cancer, Sun, and Rising signs for 2025, spiritually and emotionally. Okay. Where you might be dealing with a lot of intrusive thoughts, very negative thoughts that just kind of pop into your head, and you're just anxious. You're afraid. What if this doesn't work out? You may have anxiety. Cancer, Moon, and Rising signs. You may just feel, for some reason in 2025, maybe in the beginning, maybe in the very beginning, possibly, where you'll just be like, oh, I don't have, like, let's just say, like, it's your job. I don't have a job yet, or I haven't got promoted yet. I haven't gotten a raise yet. I'm gonna have to quit my job, or I'm not gonna be able to pay rent. I'm not gonna be able to this. I'm not gonna be happy with my job. Like, if those thoughts are popping into your head, like, well, what if they break up with you? They don't love you, or you look ugly, or whatever it is that your brain, you know, is telling you is true. Have the courage to tell your brain to go somewhere, like, to just shut the F up. You know what I mean? Just learn to tell those intrusive thoughts, you're gonna get put on the back burner. I'm not listening to you. I am going to practice optimism and faith that I am gonna be okay, that I'm gonna make it through this, that I'm gonna get the job, or that I'm gonna be in a successful relationship, Some of you guys, maybe you're, I'm just kind of trying to come up with different examples. Maybe you have a test to take and you're afraid that you're not going to pass. Maybe there's a test that you have to pay money for. And if you don't pass it, you got to pay money for it again. Or maybe you're trying to have kids. Maybe you're trying to get into a certain school, trying to take certain classes, trying to get certified, trying to get a house, trying to get a car, trying to get, find out if you're eligible for a certain purchase. There might be a lot of goals in mind that you have in 2025, but just understand that those intrusive thoughts are not there to help you at all. Your intrusive thoughts are not there to enrich your life. They're there to keep you stuck. They have been created, their origins are from your past. Their origins are from bad things being said to you. Their origin comes from abuse. Their origin, your intrusive thoughts, they originated from neglect, from narcissistic behavior tossed towards you in the past. Things not going your way, trauma, okay? Negative surprise, detrimental surprise, right? Your intrusive thoughts, that's all they are. They're just thoughts, okay? You have to have the courage to stand up and be like, nah, I'm not going to give into that in 2025 and beyond. Now, others of you, you may be dealing with people who are a bit intrusive. You might be dealing with people who are trying to intrude into business that is not theirs. Could be a parent, because there's some parents that have that issue, right? They have that issue. They don't know how to mind business that's only theirs. Some parents, okay, some grandparents do that. Some friends might do that, right? There's someone in your life that just needs to mind their business. And you might need to be the person to tell them that. So Cancer, Sun and Moon and rising signs, if you're afraid to tell somebody to mind their business, or like, hey, that's not something I really want to tell anybody. If you're too afraid to be secretive and you just kind of buckle, and you just start telling people your business when they should not know, or at least they don't need to know. Okay. Maybe in 2025 that's changing. Okay. Maybe that's something that you just need to lay down the law with. You're like, I'm not here to tell everybody my business. Okay. Others of you in 2025, you need to be brave enough to step out into territory that you never thought you could ever enter, right? You might have some people that tell you, you don't belong there, or, you're not eligible for, how are you eligible for that? You're not eligible for that, or I wasn't eligible for it, so how are you going to be eligible, or whatever, right? You might have some people who tell you, or a person who might like passive aggressively tell you, or maybe they feel like they have your best interest, and they may say things, to you that make you feel like, well, I don't know if you're really capable of doing that. Are you sure you want to do that? You have to be courageous enough to just be like, I don't know, but we'll find out. You know what I mean? Some people need to stay in their lane, and you have to have more faith in yourself than other people have faith in you, right? Let's pull a couple more. We're going to pull a few more oracle messages for you, Cancer, Moon, and rising signs, and then pull from the tarot towards the end of your reading. Okay, so let's see. I'm curious to see what more comes out of here. Let's see. So Cancer, Moon, and rising signs. Cancer, Moon, and rising signs for the year 2025 messages, for their messages of advice for their spirit and emotional body. Okay. You have Mother Earth. Okay. Okay, then you have communication. So I get the sense that this has a lot to do with earthly matters. Okay. If there are those of you, Cancer, Moon, and Rising signs, who are a part of a tribe, or you support your local tribe, or you are of a community in the world that is very closely connected to the earth, or your ancestors were, okay, if there's any type of indigenous ancestry that is prevalent in your bloodline, Cancer, Moon, and Rising signs, this is very specific, okay. You actually might want to dig into that. It doesn't matter if you're European. It doesn't matter if you're, of the African diaspora, if you are of the indigenous American, tribes or diaspora. If you're an Aboriginal, if you're any type of like ancient peoples, if your bloodline, if it's very prevalent in your bloodline, again, this is very specific for some of you. Or if you are an individual who supports these people, and you see that there may be some intrusion on their territory, intrusion on their people's land and their traditions, right? Or your traditions. 2025 is going to be a year where you need to start speaking up and acting on this intrusion here. Okay. That's very, very specific. So 2025, if you are indigenous in any way, in any type of indigenous bloodline from around the world, doesn't matter where, and you feel that your people are being intruded upon, if you feel that your people are being disrespected, or if you're getting a lot of spiritual communication from your ancestors or from your creator, connected to your tribe, connected to your people in 2025. That is very, very significant. It is very specific. So again, if you're not one of those people, okay, and you don't resonate with that, ignore that message. But that, again, like, there's probably multiple scenarios that are going to come out in this reading for 2025. Okay, it's 12 months worth of time. So have the courage to communicate your perspective, to communicate and educate people about what's going on with your tribe, or what's going on with your people, or what's going on with a certain tribe that you've been supporting or that you've been researching about their struggles or what have you. Okay. But aside from that, for a majority of you, for 2025, Cancer, Moon, and Rising signs, this is about intrusive thoughts. This is about communicating your wants. This is about going out into the world and finding people that you can communicate with, who get you, who understand you. Okay. It's very, very important that you talk to people who understand how to get you to ward off those intrusive thoughts. So, soul tribe, like people call it, say soul tribes, like, you may have a soul tribe. You may have people that you can definitely communicate with, and they get you, they understand you, they can relate to you. Okay, because not everybody can relate to everybody. Okay, so you may have to have the courage, Cancer, Moon, and Rising signs, to step out into the into the world. You know, 2025 may be a good time for you to touch grass, touch a tree, climb a tree, smell a flower, say hello to an ant or a bee. You know what I mean? There is, if you, in 2025, Cancer, Moon, and Rising signs, if you go outside, you might realize that there is a lot of communication happening around you than what you really pay attention to. The earth does speak. The earth speaks, the water speaks, the trees speak, right? Cancer, Moon, and Rising signs for the year 2025. Spiritual and emotional growth messages, ancestors, for the collective of Cancer, Moon, and Rising signs. Let's see. Yeah, so Cancer, please pay in 2025, pay close attention to the power of feminine energy. If you are a feminine watching this, 2025 is to recognize your power as a feminine, recognize the power within the divine feminine, okay? Feminine energy is very, very, very sacred, okay? If you are of a certain tribe, again, like I was saying earlier, or if you're learning from a certain tribe that you're not a part of, you know, they're teaching you things. Maybe you go to a temple, you know, you don't, you know, some of you guys might in 2025 decide to go to a temple and, you know, learn some things from a shaman or from some priest or priestesses. You may go to a certain tribe in the world and you know, they may perform an initiation on you. There may be a feminine spirit, a goddess, who shows herself to you, wants to work with you, or who has a message for you. Okay. Who's trying to get you to wake up to something about yourself. Even if you're a masculine, maybe, you know, you may have some visions or a visitation from a feminine spirit. This feminine spirit is attached to the earth. So she is very earthbound in a way. She's very earthy. Okay. So depending on where you live in the world, where you're from, where your tribe's from, where your people or your family's from, you know who this feminine spirit is. Others of you, you may not. So if there are those of you who have a hard time connecting with feminine energy, whether you're male or female, 2025 is going to kind of push you in that direction. Okay. And there is some type of feminine energy or entity or spirit or goddess who is going to teach you what it means to really love, what love really looks like, what it feels like in your life. Okay. Just that, like that song that just popped into my head, all you need is love. Love is all you need. That's what popped into my head for you, Cancer. So if you have a hard time with the energy of love, maybe you feel like, oh, that's mushy, or, you know, love don't pay the bills, or love don't mean anything. You know, if you got cheated on, you fell in love with somebody and you got burned, maybe you have a very bitter mindset towards love. You know, maybe if this is about, you know, land or, you know, your people or your tribe and intrusions and invasions and whatever. Maybe you need to understand how to bring love to the conversation. Now, others of you, again, you have to be willing to be a bit interrupting, not disruptive, but some of you Cancer, you don't want to interrupt a pattern. You don't want to cause a fire. You don't want to make people uncomfortable. Like maybe you see that there are people who are comfortable doing their own thing, you know, but there's something that you really need to bring up. There's really something that you need to talk about, Maybe you feel like somebody's always busy and you don't want to like interrupt their flow, but there's really something that needs to be talked about and they never really make the time to actually listen to you. You may have to like interrupt that person and just intrude on a conversation or on a phone call and be like, I need to talk to you. You know what I mean? We need to talk about this, right? Like this is like important. This is not something that we can ignore. Interesting. Interesting. All right, let's pull one more oracle message for you guys, Cancer, Moon, and Rising signs. And then we're going to pull from the tarot and end your reading on that note. I do also see in 20, like I was saying about the feminine energy, this deity, or this could be a passed on loved one. So there's some of you guys, maybe you lost a mother, you lost a grandmother, or there's like a ancestor, feminine ancestor, or a friend that passed away. In 2025, this individual or this spirit is going to just step in and interrupt everything. They're going to be like, I'm here and I need to talk to you, or I'm here and I need to relay a message to you. You may start to get some nudges from this from this spirit. It's definitely a woman. Okay. Okay, for Cancer, Moon, and Rising signs for the year 2025, ancestors. Ooh. Yeah. This is definitely has something to do with your mindset and your emotions towards money. This entity, or this, if this is for some of you guys who are dealing with a passed on loved one or a spirit, they're here to bring you lessons and blessings when it comes to the physical world, tangible things, when it comes to money. It's here as well to push you out into a new adventure. Okay, you have 2 9s here. So see energy of Sagittarius. Some of you guys are dealing with Sagittarius. Maybe you're entering 2025 on a new adventure with a Sagittarius. Or, and there's something that's being renewed with a Taurus or with Taurus energy in Taurus season. So yeah, this is definitely stepping out into the world and experiencing the world in its beauty, experiencing new relationships, okay? Embracing the love of life in 2025. There's going to be some of you guys just got married, or you're going to get married in 2025. Some of you guys are going to move in with your partner for the first time in 2025. Some of you guys are getting pregnant, or you are pregnant and you're going to give birth in 2025. There might be you might be moving back in with your parents in 2025, or one of them is going to move in with you. You might get a new roommate. You might get a new home, and what have you. You might be getting some renovations done. But you know, if you're not moving or anybody else is moving in with you, maybe there's just some emotional like awakening and emotional healing that's happening for you and your family within your home. Okay, maybe there's some therapy that's happening. um Maybe there's someone who has developed an illness or a mental illness, and there is a situation where, you know, this person is just accepting it, or you're accepting it. You're just like, this is what I got. This is just my lot in life, and I'm just going to accept it, and I'm just going to live my best life, right? So there's something regarding, you know, just accepting things the way they are for now in 2025, instead of constantly trying to change other people. You're just like, you know, or just trying to change something that you can't, you know. You're just accepting it. Or maybe there's something that you need to accept first before you can leave it, you know. So if you're leaving a situation because it's, you know, you're just like, well, I can't change this, or I can't control this, so I'm going to go move to something else that I can change and control. It's like, no, you need to sit with this situation, Cancer, Moon, and Rising signs, and be like, okay, this person's not going to change. Or, you know, this is just how my family is. They're not going to change, right? Or just accepting who you are. You know, if you're wishing that you were taller or shorter or skinnier or more muscular, or, you know, more voluptuous, you know, more plump in how you're shaped, you know, if you wish you had more hair, wish this, wish that. Sometimes, you know, you just got to accept where you are before you can move on, right? You're constantly focused on like what you can't change about yourself, or what you can't change right now, like you're just going to be living in misery. You just got to accept yourself. And there's a lot of things, you know, there's a lot of things you can't change about yourself, Cancer, you know, when it comes to like physical attributes or illnesses or whatnot. Sometimes you just have to just accept it, and don't judge yourself for it. And, you know, if other people want to judge you for it, so what? You know? So before you can move on from something, you have to accept where you are first, right? You know, you got to look at your job. If you don't like your job, you just got to accept it. I don't like my job. I'm not happy in my job. If you look at your relationship that you're in and it doesn't make you happy, or it's just disappointing, you just got to be like, all right, I'm just disappointed. I'm just tired. Tired of dealing with the same old, or dealing with this attitude. You know, I'm tired of dealing with narcissistic behavior. And you just got to accept, like, you know, this just making me unhappy, instead of trying to make it out to be something that it's not. It's like, oh, it's not that bad, or this person makes me happy, when they don't. You got to accept how you feel. You have to accept how you feel. You have to accept how you've been feeling, and sit with it for a minute in 2025, right? All right, let's pull 3 last cards. Cancer, Moon, and Rising signs for the year 2025. Yeah, 2025 is going to be a time where you really just need to be, you got to do a lot of reflecting. So there's going to come a point in time, maybe in the beginning of the year, where you're just going to feel, maybe in the winter, sometime in the winter, depending on where you live in the world. Whenever winter happens for you, Cancer, Moon, and Rising signs, that's going to be your time where you just really need to reflect on some things. Take those months to just reflect. You don't have to share about what you're reflecting on. You don't have to share about what you think and how you feel. You just need to reflect. Make your moves sometime during a fixed sign season. So, and I mean, when I say fixed sign season, I mean sometime after the winter time in 2025. You know what I mean? So like sometime after February, sometime after, like, if you, depending on if you're in the northern hemisphere or whatever, you know, whenever your first winter in 2025 stops, towards Aries, you know, or not Aries, Taurus season, that, I feel like that's Taurus season, and after, that's when you want to start switching your karma around and making different decisions for yourself. And then towards the end of the year of Christmas of 2025, maybe even, you know, either during Christmas, um, under a Leo moon, well, maybe not Christmas, but winter time, if there's a Leo moon during the winter time, the last few months of the year, maybe couple months of the year, or during Leo season of 2025, that's when you will see yourself victorious. So if you're wondering, like, if you're in 2025, like, this is taking too long, I'm tired of dealing with this, well, do the reflecting, do the reflecting, think about where you want to be, think about where you are, accept it, then you can move on, right? When you have your ducks in a row, when you have your thoughts in order, right? You're trying to help a group of people, or you're trying to help somebody, you're doing some work to help a community in the world. If that's, what you want to do, you need to think about what you need to do first. Think about how you're going to do it. Think about the people you need to talk to, and collaborate with. Okay? You will be victorious in the end of the year. By the end of the year of 2025, you will be victorious if you do this work. Cancer, moon, and rising signs, okay? Go out into the world just with your desires. Just be like, I want this, I want that, I want the world, I want to find love in the world, and go out and get it. Go out and get it. Go find the people who are actually going to fill your cup. Don't just sit there waiting for people to find you. You go find them, right? You go out. And if you don't want to go find them, then just put yourself out there in the world and just be beautiful. Be you. Accept you for who you are. And then you will attract the right people to you. And the people that you don't want to attract, the people that you don't want around you, reject them. Just be like, no, this is not what I want. This is not what's going to fill my cup. This is not what's going to make me happy, right? Much love and light to all of you. I wish you guys the very best of luck on this journey. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I hope to see you guys in your next reading. Bye.